a little later than we generally are, but it's all right. We gonna get it done. Get it done. Hey, Chris. Chris. We are a little later than we generally are. Chris. What? Hey, close that door to the basement. All right. What you say?
ain't got no contract.
So we'll have to pay for the phone.
We don't phone through Sprint.
No.
You use SIM card?
Nope.
Yeah, you ain't that phone.
Everything's through Gmail and all the contacts.
You know, now we just got the new plan today. It's the only plan we offer. It's $75 flat, no taxes.
Kelly, Angel, and Tony say hi, guys.
Hey, Kelly.
What's up, Kelly? What's up, Tony?
What's going on?
Roger Lindsay is watching as
What
well.
up, Rod? What's going on, homie? We finna get started. Hey, stay tuned, y'all. We got a good one this evening for you, cause hey.
So I say depending on what phone you get, your bill probably be right at $100. That's your plan and your phone. Unless you get insurance.
Oh shoot, I got the radio.
I know people when they go online and they put do not have copyright.
Yeah, we got permission to use all the stuff.
Sonya just joined.
Who?
Sonya Palmer
Oh, that's definitely my.
and Kim
What's up,
Alford.
Sonya?
Kim Alford.
What's up, Kim?
What's up, Kim?
Yeah. Stay tuned with us, man. We about to go in on tonight's topics. Oh yeah, my bad. But well, yeah, my bad. I gotta do better about the going live with the music and stuff like that. Y'all ready though?
Hola.
Alright. Hey, welcome to the It's About Time show. I am your co-host, Chuck Beard, and I have my illustrious co-host with us, the queen herself, Miss Nicole.
Hola, como esta? I want my viewers to look up illustrious.
Yes, look
And
up
put
illustrious.
put the meaning in the comments and know you're watching.
Oh man, you know what? Dang, it got the wrong microphone going.
Got
Hold
the
up.
wrong
We gotta
microphone.
start that
going.
over. Yeah, my fault, y'all. I apologize to everybody watching on Facebook Live. They didn't pick up the right microphone. The other microphone is terrible. It's the one that's on the computer as opposed to that one right there. That one picks up everything. The one on the computer don't pick up jack. All right, y'all ready? Uno, dos, tres. Hey, welcome to the It's About Time show. I am your co-host, Chuck Beard. I have my other two illustrious co-hosts, the queen, Miss Nicole.
Hi.
And I have the candy man, the noble himself, aka Mr. Birch, Anton Birch.
Party people, what's going on?
Party people in the place to be.
Wood. We gotta get theme music for everybody, man. First and foremost, I wanna say congratulations to the Super Chickens.
He means them good old dirty birds.
The Atlanta Falcons. I am a Falcons fan. I can't even lie, but I'm still gonna call them the Super Chickens.
Why you call them the super chicken?
I don't know. It just sounds good to me. It feels good to say it.
No.
Yes,
No.
it feels good to call them Super
No.
Chickens.
You're on the borderline of getting your black card.
Right,
Yeah. No, that sounds like something a Oompa Loompa fan would say.
I mean, you know, whatever. Oompa Loompa, whatever. I like Oompa Loompas.
I'll say congratulations to the Falcons. Knowing I'm not a Falcon fan, I've been critical of them, but you know, congratulations on going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Hopefully
We
y'all,
gonna win.
we'll see if y'all can do it.
Yep. We gonna win.
Okay, we'll see if y'all can do it.
We will win.
I
Y'all,
hope they win.
y'all can
'cause
finally
I
put a
do
trophy
not like-
in that new stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
We got it. We need to win for the new stadium. Yeah. We gonna win. We got you. Oh Lord. See, I'm gonna have to sit on the end of the table from now on. because sitting next to Cuz.
Oh man, I don't even want to see the picture either, man. Golly, man.
Hey Tracy,
Hey,
I'm trying not to look
Don't
over
look. Don't look.
at the
if
computer that he is.
any of y'all have never watched the show before, there's a segment. We each do our own segment. My segment is called What the Fuck Chuck, right? Where I'm always finding crazy stuff on the internet, things that I come across or people have said or sent me or whatever. And this week, I guess I got to get a little bit of a somber tone because it's a very serious problem that we have. And it's something that it's never happened to me personally. However, I do not want it to happen. I was actually listening to a show that we had that talked about this, right? And it's penile fracturing.
Hey, hey.
Penile fracturing, right? If you were unaware, you can.
Hey, do we have to do this topic, man? It's kind of sensitive.
Please
If you are going too hard,
don't. Ooh.
you can mess around and actually break your penis.
We did talk about this before,
Well, it came up, but we didn't talk in depth about it, right?
but
So I just wanted to bring it up because I feel like it needed to be talked about again, and because we were like, oh, we kind of and I looked it up, and this is what I found. I said penile fracture is a relatively uncommon clinical condition. Chances are the dude ain't saying nothing, because I'm not finna go to the doctor about that. But it says vaginal intercourse and aggressive masturbation are the most common causes.
Masturbation.
Yeah, I don't know what aggressive masturbation is.
I don't want to know what aggressive
Hey.
masturbation. Damn, is that crucial, man? You gotta grab something like that.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, it says you can actually burst the urethra. Yeah.
Yeah, this is getting painful, man.
Yeah. That's why I said it's a very serious topic. Like, we can't just gloss over it because people need to know.
what? I think we
that-
should gloss
Yeah, we
over
can
this.
gloss over this one.
It's a very serious because when you in the heat of the moment, the last thing you want to do is have it ended by a fracture.
Please, we about to lose some viewers. We gotta lose viewers. No.
Yeah.
And it's called misalignment during penetration.
Misalignment. So you gotta go get realigned.
Yeah.
That sounds painful, man.
Yeah, if you were misaligned while you were trying to, you can possibly get a penile
man.
fracture.
Stop.
No. Okay, we're done. I don't even have a penile. But if I did, this whole segment, I would have to walk away. Like,
I'm ready to walk away. How you think I feel over here, man? Hey, wow.
I couldn't be sitting here next to you. Like, literally, I'm
not looking
at
at
the
that
computer
computer.
like,
No, and I saw
No.
how dude's shit was to the side.
Yeah.
No, that looked very
It
painful.
causes bruising.
don't Google this.
And he was not aroused, and
You
that
don't
looked
need
like it
any
was
more
painful.
information than what he has given you today.
Sorry for that, fans.
That's
Oh,
it.
man, wow.
But everybody is looking and watching. Since y'all are tuning in right now, we do want to ask that if you are a fan of the show, if you can go hit the share button so that we can grow the show. Because if you enjoy what you're hearing, if you enjoy what we're doing, please, we can't ask you enough. We can't thank you enough for watching, but we also will ask you to share it with friends and family on your
Right.
Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
So if you could, please just right now hit the share button.
Thanks,
And,
Tia.
hmm?
She shared it, Tia.
Okay, appreciate that,
Thank
Tia.
you.
Thank you so much. So now we're gonna roll into the Queen segment. It's called "Give It to 'Em, Queen."
Give it to him, Queen. I got your notebook. So, I got a couple of things that I want to bring up. One of them I'm gonna save for last, but I'm gonna ruffle a little feathers here. I think some feathers feathers have already been ruffled somewhat this week. We've had a wonderful week, haven't we?
Yes.
I'm not so proud of Chrisette Michelle. I'm not so proud of Steve Harvey. All I want to say on that topic is that the comment that I heard, the reason that they did what they did was they were for the people. And I don't see how you was for the people in that situation. And I need another point of view to make me like venture over into your fan world again. Like I
might help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in Chrisette Michelle's place, I don't really have an excuse for her. Not that I'm going to make excuses for anybody, but for Steve Harvey,
don't go too much into him.
I mean,
if you don't mind.
No, I won't. Like, I understand why he met with Donald Trump. I get it, because sometimes you get an offer that you can't refuse, right? And I kind of feel like,
offer from the devil, you cannot refuse.
I mean,
okay,
he ain't necessarily the devil, but like, okay, he is the leader of the free world. I mean, I'm not giving Donald Trump any kudos or leeway or anything like that, but he is the leader of the free world. Steve Harvey was told by President Obama, the now former president, Lord have mercy.
Just because I'm a cook don't mean I can cook. Just because you nominate me and I done brought in a hash brown casserole the other day, and y'all said, "Oh, that was fire. That shit was good." Nikki, we want you to make another one. Just because y'all nominate me to make another hash brown don't mean I can actually cook that motherfucker. So just because you leader of the free world don't mean jack shit to me.
We
Go ahead.
No,
okay, we getting too much into it
because
I want you to talk about it, but I'm gonna get off topic for a minute. I got to get this off my chest.
Well, go ahead. Let him say what he gonna say. Cause no, because she finna change the subject.
No.
I think he got enough to piggyback, but yeah, I'm finna get real off the subject. Okay, something happened to me the other day, and I don't think that I thought about this before, but I didn't ever really think how it was going to affect me. So I work, a lot of people know where I work. I work at a place where it's very diverse and it's equality for everyone. And I'm not going to say where I work because most of you know where I work. So I'm going into the restroom. Okay, let me say that in this building there are 2 sets of restrooms. Well, actually there are 3. There are 2 big public women's restrooms, and the same for men. And then there are 2 individual, kind of like when you go into Walmart or a big department store, they got, a family one stall type of restroom. They have those 2, okay? So I go into the big restroom where it's a lot of stalls, okay? And if where I work, a lot of people ain't gonna like me, but I'm gonna try to be as sensitive as I can.
No, just say what you gotta say. Don't even worry about the rest of it.
I don't want to. There's a lot of gay and lesbian people that work where I work, and there's a lot of gay. I don't know the. Transgender. Okay, there's some that consider themselves transgender. Okay?
Are they transgender? When we say transgender, they've changed, but do they dress or you know what I'm saying? Have they gone through the process?
This one in particular, I don't know the story.
Okay.
But based on the looks, you know
how they sound.
Okay, Okay, you know that this is a man. You know.
But does he still sound like a man? He's not taking estrogen when his voice is changing.
So you know that this is a man with the wig on. And he's attempting to be a woman. Okay?
I see them at my job kind of regularly too, but anyway.
So I go into the restroom and I'm the only one in there at the time, and then I come out to wash my hands. Well, I'm standing in the mirror washing my hands, and this person walks in. Okay. So first of all, I'm shocked because it just ain't never happened to
You're
me.
being way too politically correct.
I am.
You
yeah.
are.
But I feel it, man. I mean, for what she works, I don't want to.
I mean, I get it, but
Okay, so
I mean, you can throw some curse words in there.
yeah. Okay, so I stand there in shock. First of all, I'm still kind of in shock, but I'm in shock because I'm thinking, oh, they let that happen nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like in this building, like I know we diverse, but they let that go down. So I said, okay, all right, I'm giving benefit of the doubt. Something in my head say, look up under the stall and see if he's sitting down or if he's standing up.
That's what my question's gonna be.
So I look under the stall and this nigga standing up.
He ain't transgender. He's just a drag
He's
queen.
a straight up nigga now.
He's a drag queen.
Because
shaking it off and
oh,
everything.
it pissed me off so bad. Like, it pissed me off. It really did because
At least he could have sat down.
at least you
Although-
could have sat down.
although he
You
had
want to be a
his
woman
jump.
so bad.
Yeah, he could have put it down and
And
scooped it down.
You want to come into a woman's restroom, and you know we all got to go at some point in time. I mean, I'm kind of mad that I can't go in the man's bathroom and whip out my pee now and handle what I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, it pissed me off. It pissed me off. It really pissed me off. And I still feel some type of way about it because I'm like, if he had sat down, I might have felt a little bit better about the situation. But this nigga in there standing up peeing in a woman's bathroom. Like, no.
I'm sure he's had to piss when he had to take a shit, so he should have just sat his ass.
Why you
down.
didn't sit your ass down and tuck? Like,
Right.
why?
That's fascinating.
So I had to get this off my chest because we living in a world now where everything is accepted, and I think that's crossing the line. I think it's crossing the line. I really do. And at one point, we talking about the Women's March, and we got in a conversation a little while ago about domestic abuse, you know, and women's rights are being diminished, I feel.
Yes.
And
Privacy on the whole is being
diminished because now you got men wanting to be women, but they still a man at the end of the fucking
He
day.
can't afford his surgery.
I don't give a damn what you can't afford.
I'm just saying.
I
But
mean,
you're right.
You like, at what point do you draw the line? Like, that's just crazy to me. And now I don't even want to go to the bathroom at work.
That's what I was going to ask. Boy.
I don't even want to go to the bathroom at work. Why should I have to accommodate? I don't like it. I'm pissed off about it. And I don't like it not one bit.
It ain't really nothing you can do about it. Cause
And
I'm sure
it's
it
nothing,
was,
and it is something I can do about it. I can leave the situation. However, like, you know, like Tan said, it's kind of like walking around on eggshells. You don't
Right.
want to say nothing because then you label it as being discriminating. You discriminate or being not racist, but discriminating, homophobic. And you know,
I feel where you're coming from.
it's frustrating. It's really frustrating, and it's just like now. I can't go to the bathroom without wearing, you know what I'm saying? How do I know this nigga ain't in here with a wig on just being a big ass pervert? Like, because really, back in our days, that's what they were.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go there. And I just, okay, I'm done. I done gave it to y'all. I had to get off my
She
chest.
done gave it to y'all. Like,
Man.
give it to a queen.
Man, on that note, we just gonna roll into my nigga of the week because she told me what happened, and I honestly, I had no comment then, and I have no comment now, because you know, to me, it feels like a violation of privacy.
It
That's
is,
all I
straight
can say.
up.
But I see those people in my line of work because of what I do, and it's funny. I mean, so I've never observed them going into one of our bathrooms, which one they use, because it would be
And
interesting.
you know,
to me.
you remember Target had the big thing about it, and you know, I had never been in a situation. I don't know a lot of women, you know, but I didn't think it was gonna bother me like this. I really didn't, because I'm an open person. I feel like I'm very open
You
minded.
know, but
Yeah, that was too much
privacy.
for me. That was too much for me. I don't care how you feel like you was born, and how you wake up every day and you feel like you're a woman. At some point, you gotta stop and step back and think about the other side. Like, you ain't no woman. I've been bloated all fucking week because I've been on my period. What about you? Like, I mean,
Yeah, dude.
Big Brother Ron said everyone wants to consider themselves oppressed because black people continue to be in the world has to face it, because everything gets compared to and equated to racism.
yeah.
I mean, you know.
This is Ron's favorite subject, anyway.
Yeah, but we gonna roll into my nigga of the week.
You know, and Queen, you started by saying you may start a little controversy. And as I was thinking about who my nigga of the week was, I just said, I sat back and started thinking about some things. And I just said, why don't I make it Steve Harvey? And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
As Chuck alluded to, he said, you know, President Obama asked him to go do it. You know, but in this climate, and me and my dad talked about it, and Dad was like, he could have told his ass no. Ain't going to see his motherfucking ass, I understand. But with the persona now, me personally,
Your dad said he couldn't tell him.
he
no?
said he should have told him.
Oh yeah, he damn right.
But to do it for, I mean, you got to look at it when it's coming from who that person is asking you. You know what I'm saying? This is your commander in chief, the first black president. I mean, that may play a role, but think about if he called you and just say, "Okay, I need you for me to go holler at this dude." It just takes some nuts because of all his stature and all Steve Harvey has become. You know, does the Family Feud, he has his own show. For all that, just like we talking about Chris and Michelle. See how her ads, I mean, she's losing, people endorsing her. But
Sounds all well, but what was your motive?
he did it to help. I don't know why he wanted to help out dude with HUD. Just because he did grow up in the project, what is that supposed to be? That he's more blacker than him. I mean, I've never understood why he wanted him to specifically to go talk to Ben Carson, of all people.
I think the reason that he wanted it to go down is because in history, and there's been quotes on it, but in history, it has been proven that if you are pictured with a black person, then your ratings for the black community will go up. It's just in history. Now, I'm not saying that's gonna happen
But
nowadays.
you know what? He addressed it on his show.
Hold on,
on his morning show.
Let me interject though, because all right, there are two different sides here that we're talking about, right? You got Steve Harvey, who was given the offer, and then you have President Trump, right? The dude who, he made the offer. And the only reason I feel like Donald Trump made the offer, I don't know how concerned he is with, African American in the diaspora, black folk. But he made the offer, I think, for a press op or a photo op, whereas Steve Harvey kind of did it out of obligation, because if I have the opportunity to speak to somebody that can help change the inner city and have some type of influence in that, why can't I take that opportunity? And then granted, you kind of looking the devil in the face,
right?
But
your president, and then your president asked you, not him, but your president asked you. I mean, it's a touchy subject, and he talked about it on his morning show. You know, that he was hurt that people backlash against him, call him coon and everything like that, you know. And then he said, you know,
Did he say why he did it?
Yeah.
Other than that, my president asked me why
he wanted to have a sit down. He said it was very cordial, it was very nice, but
What
he just
y'all
wanted to sit
talking
down. Him and the inner city development.
Yeah.
You know.
How to change the inner cities.
Yes, because that's where Harry Carson is on with her. Ben Carson, excuse me.
Yeah, Ben Carson.
But I mean, I was kind of tripping on him, but you know, hey, it take big ups because you know to think about, and I know he had to sit back and think about what he's jeopardizing in himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with what he's gained by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I give him big ups on that. I was hurt because I'm like, dude, why you going to see him? But then you think about it,
At some point, we all get tired of selling our souls, so.
and that's what T.I.
I don't really feel like he sold out though. I mean, just because you go have a conversation with a person doesn't make you a sellout.
It don't mean he's endorsing me.
I
I
That
mean,
means
because we
I'm
don't,
entertaining your dirty thoughts.
but we don't know what was said or what the result of the conversation would be. Steve Harvey could have walked in there with a complete fuck you attitude, and you know, gone about the conversation in a fuck you kind of way.
Yeah.
But we don't have a clue. Like that's two people that talk behind closed doors, and we don't know what the conversation that they had was. But okay, on that note, what we gonna do
It's still
is
no queen.
we gonna
Okay.
take this quick break. Everybody that's on Facebook Live, y'all stick with us. Also, everybody on Facebook Live, please, if you have not already, please share the show. Just hit the share button on your Facebook because we're trying to grow this show, man. We want as many people to be able to view it, see it as we can. And, you know, today or this year, we're trying to, you know, gain more followers, more listeners, and more people to actually be involved in the show. But we thank y'all for listening. Give us 1 second. We're going to be right back with you.
Be right back.
So you're not gonna watch Family Feud.
Fuck a Family Feud.
And the Steve Harvey show. You just boycotting them now.
Fuck Steve Harvey. I can't stand Steve Harvey.
I'm just curious on how people. I mean, that's the only reason I did it because it takes nuts, and I know how you feel about him selling his soul and shit.
I mean, like,
You don't know what. And see, yeah, the devil himself, Trump could have been the nicest, sweetest person to him in his face. What are you supposed to do?
See, I guess I'm that person that don't forgive. You know, well, yeah, I guess I'm that person that don't forgive, cause that's really what it is, really. Our black people, we don't even know how to forgive. We don't even know the steps and not even willing to forgive because we like to hold on to it.
It's not even about forgiving though. And like this is one thing Steve Harvey said on his show, and it kind of made sense. It's like if people at a table are having a conversation and you want to be a part of the conversation, which affects policy and change and that kind of thing, but you refuse. What effect are you in essence having? Like you refusing to go sit down and talk about these things with these people that can affect change for you and your community. And you know, I get it. Like I 1000% get it. It's just that, you know, I feel like Donald Trump, number one, is a liar. He's proven himself to be. And I feel like nothing's really gonna come out of the conversation.
So therefore,
but-
that's my thing. Like, why
but-
waste time like that?
What is it if we don't have hope? Like if we don't hope that something's gonna change, or if we don't have faith that something's gonna change, or somebody that can help, or somebody can help change. I mean, you know, you gotta kind of at some point say, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of trust in this person, and maybe he'll listen to something that I said. You don't even have to listen to everything. Maybe just something that's gonna help change the hood just a little bit. Who we got watching, Felicia?
It's Kelly, Lee, Sonya, Kim, and Ron. He have a
Ron.
comment though.
And I'm gonna say something else, and I know I ran upstairs, but I know personally, if it was me that got called by Barack and said, "Hey man, I need you
Dan Robinson, what's
That's
up?
gonna put me in a precarious spot too. I mean, because one, I'm be excited that this man, I'm talking to the president, it's just to be honest. It is be honest.
Ooh, my bad.
Wait,
Go ahead.
you made me say I sound like Darth Vader. But I mean, that would, you know, just to know that man's calling me, you know, what am I to say? I mean, that would kind of be hard to just, I mean, and who it is, it would have been hard to turn down. It would have been hard to refuse. And that's why I said I give him ups. Because you see Chris Michelle shit, you probably heard the last of her.
Yeah.
I mean, be honest, y'all, you probably heard the last of her.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could have been the same with him.
Yeah.
There'd be no more Steve Harvey Family Feud, which everybody love, even these white folk, they love him.
Yeah.
You know? And then his show, they love his show.
Big Brother Ron called you Darth Now later.
Dark down later. Yeah.
Oh,
Darth
man.
Now.
Hey, y'all ready to start this next segment? I appreciate y'all watching, man. For the 10 people that's out there, thank you for tuning in.
Oh, we love you.
Share this video, please, please, please help
Talk
us
us up.
get this thing big, man. Because you know we're trying to have a conversation that people are unwilling to have in other arenas and avenues. All right, y'all ready? Hey, welcome back to this About Time show. And tonight we kind of have two topics. I kind of amended it because my illustrious co-host, the Queen, said that she thought we were going to do something else. And then I changed it a little bit. So, what we're going to talk about right now, because last week we did the tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If you did not listen to that show or watch that show, please go back, listen to it, watch it. I feel like we put out a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of good information. But tonight, I'm going to ask the question, and, you know, everybody on Facebook Live, please comment. Everybody that's on SoundCloud, please comment. The question is, who killed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
Oh, Chuck, you didn't tell me you admitted it.
And why? And I'm just going to start with a piece of a speech that he gave. This was, I don't know if it was his last speech that he gave when he was in front of the garbage workers, but I kind of feel like it was. And this was in 1967. He said at the very same time that 64. Oh, my bad. At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant it was willing to undergird its peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided country agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farm. Not only that, today many of these people are getting millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm. And they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself up by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. Now this is the reality. Now when we come to Washington in this campaign, we're coming to get our check. So I threw the question out there, why was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. killed? And, you know, y'all can disagree, dissent, whatever. I feel like once he started saying, you know, number one, he started the Poor People's Campaign. And, you know, wanted wage equality and all of that. Exactly. Once it's okay if you want to sit down and pay us money to eat at our lunch counters. But once you start taking money out of our pockets,
you gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tia said the government.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
See,
Go ahead, Squirt.
you know, until you enlightened me, about a year ago, with Steve Coakley, and then is
hold on.
I'm not gonna.
Hold on. Everybody that so that you can be informed about this, Steve Coakley did a lecture, right? And it's like 6 or 7 YouTube videos about who killed Dr. Martin Luther King. Please go look up YouTube and Steve Coakley, and rest in peace because he's passed now. But look up Steve Coakley talking about who killed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He brings up a lot of points that you never would have known.
And a lot of footage to back it up.
And then it'll shock you because most of y'all probably don't know who it is, but when you find out who's kind of in with this, you trip out. But anyway, gosh, I got thrown off.
I'm sorry. But you said you were watching the video with Steve Coakley.
And then, as I've harped on in the past about taking people to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, what they added on, and I think we talked about it last week, across the street is another part of the museum, and it has the actual window that he shot him out of. It's still set up and everything. You can go look out across the street and everything, but it also talks about the government conspiracy that's involved, and it makes you think. And I guess because I went to that before I saw the Steve Coakley videos, it kind of cemented a lot of things that I saw on that other side of the museum.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm with Tia. I mean, go out to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. It is well worth it for those who have never
so bad
been.
Because I'm gonna say it just so y'all can go look at it. It is said that the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Jesse
Jackson. Why I call him Jesse James? Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, he about like Jesse James.
Jesse James.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Reverend Jesse Jackson said he had something to do with it. And after looking at this footage and listening to the facts and all of that stuff, it's gonna make you question yourself too.
And if you think about that, you think about kind of Jesse Jackson's stature and what he's been about in the United States,
and even that microphone. Did y'all know that Jesse Jackson was?
They just use his mother.
Well, I mean, it's different. He he's
just like a do boy.
Yeah, and inform.
We done gave you some money to help you out.
Yeah, and then it was well known within the King. Within Dr. King's circle of friends that he did not trust and did not like Jesse Jackson.
But that should tell you something when he had the little microphone snafu when Barack first got here.
Yeah, that's what.
So that should tell you what kind of dude he is. That's what's up, Ron. That's why we best friends.
Calvin said, "Is it a coincidence that the Kennedys, Malcolm X, and MLK was killed?"
No, there is no coincidence.
No, it's not a coincidence. Everything was.
It was orchestrated. Yeah. I mean, that's part of not MK Ultra. What was the you can read about it, and I'm sorry that the name is escaping me right now, but it was actually a conspiracy where the government was going in, especially in a lot of these towns in the South, and paying off preachers. And the preachers, because when Dr. King came in town, who did he go see other than the clergy? Because they had the biggest influence in the African American community. So the government, the CIA, was paying off these preachers to give them information, right?
So you think Elijah Muhammad was about the CIA from the government?
Elijah Muhammad
with Malcolm X, or was it more so? Do you think the government was involved? I mean, we saw how it played out.
I know that the government was involved with
what you said. I mean, I know it's not in the South.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about with Dr. King. That was across the South.
But do you think it could have been that one?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean,
I'm just asking.
I mean, Spike Lee kind of alluded to it in the Malcolm X movie.
He surely did. That's why.
Because they were both under surveillance for a very long time. Yep. By the CIA, by the CIA and the FBI. So I mean, it only stands to reason that once, because what happened really, Malcolm got killed about which is maybe 3 months after he met with Dr. King.
Yep.
And the last thing that they wanted to do, COINTELPRO. Thank you, Carmen Davis. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen.
That's what that was the conspiracy that they used to infiltrate the civil rights movement. Is COINTELPRO, and it was part of what COINTELPRO said was that we cannot have a black messiah rise up. So they were trying to squash anyone that in the black, like, still do. Like, COINTELPRO is still alive and well right now. That's why, you don't see a lot of black leaders that are actually about something that have backbones or whatever. But COINTELPRO actually was where they went out and paid all these people and they infiltrated the Civil Rights Network. But, okay.
Carmen also said the King family won a death lawsuit against the Georges that basically said the government and the mafia conspired to kill Dr. King.
Man, and that right there, and the Panther Party. The mafia is not necessarily the government, but they pay people to be in their pockets.
The government wouldn't be surviving.
Y'all go look at that Steve Copeland stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
man,
I mean, at the very least, go watch the Steve Coakley video. Or videos, plural, because it's about 5 of them?
Yeah, 5, 6 of them. And I tell you, something about Jesse Jackson just rubbed me just.
Yeah, I mean.
Since I've known him, man. I mean, of age, you know?
In that video, Steve Coakley said that the Memphis airport was shut down and only one plane was allowed out. And the next morning, Jesse Jackson was in Washington, D.C., on television with blood on his hands when he was nowhere near Dr. King. You see it in the pictures. He was nowhere near Dr. King when the shots were fired.
And how you gonna have stale blood? You just gonna leave it on there? It's gonna start turning brown the more, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Calvin just sent a link, said the greatest speech ever. Robert F. Kennedy announcing the death of Martin Luther King. Says on April 4th when Martin was killed, Robert Kennedy wanted to announce it, wanted to deliver the news to the people that he was going to be killed.
And then Ron said anyone that has tried to bring people together, especially black and white people, has gotten killed.
Yeah, and that's what happens.
The Kennedys, Robert,
go ahead.
John, it's so sad.
Government will always kill off everything they cannot control, George said.
That's very true. I mean, okay, look. Anytime, because capitalism thrives off of greed, right? And we live in a capitalist society, right? And then we also live in a democracy. Anything that threatens democracy, i.e. control of the masses of the people, because the masses are what technically reign, anything that threatens the control of the people, and then anything that threatens the greed of those people that are, the 1%ers, has to be terminated. And that's a rule of capitalism. Like, the big fish eats the little fish, or the big fish goes into the neighborhood where the little fish is and destroys the little fish's credibility and then takes away their customers and removes them. So that's all the government is doing, is operating under the democratic platform and under capitalism. And that's what it all amounts to.
Sorry, give you a score update. The Patriots are whipping the Steelers 33-9
I didn't want
in the fourth quarter.
I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah,
it's all
little
good,
break.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just wanted to ask that question so we could talk about it and get it out in the air, because I feel like, like last week we gave the tribute to Dr. King and we didn't actually get deep into the reasons why his life was cut short.
So many layers, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much that you can go into and research behind it.
I thank you for everybody for watching the show last week, because a lot of people said they didn't even know his name was Michael. He was born a Michael. And some people didn't even realize that he had went to college at such an early age.
Yep, 16.
So I appreciate you guys watching. That's the whole point, of the show. So I'm glad we're doing what we said we were going to do.
Right on.
Yeah. But that being said, we're going to take a small break. Everybody on Facebook Live, stay with us, because we got commentary off the camera. But be right back.
Be right back.
Right,
I need to fix, because it's going out or something.
Yeah, you got to kind of get it away from that wall because that wall right there doesn't have good reception for whatever reason.
Back down the wall now.
And Big Brother Ron said 51% ruling over 49%. Democracy is two wolves in a sheep trying to decide what's for dinner.
Yep.
Thank you, Pinky.
Pinky
You pulled something out.
Brain. Pinky and the brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. I didn't poop.
Boy. That would have been something terrible. And if your ass, he you did and you'd have fell over that way.
Man.
Yeah, it's been on Facebook Live. Yes, y'all please let that go viral because that's been the funniest shit going.
That's that big Rilla coming out. Where you going?
Fix my camera.
Oh, okay.
Queen
All right.
fell over in damn disgust.
Because for some
Man.
reason.
Nah, she just hit me in the back of the head. In the way, but nothing I can do. Or say, Pinky and the brain, Pinky and the brain. It's saying broadcast interrupted, broadcast interrupted,
No,
live,
it says
broadcast interrupted.
My connection is weak.
Why don't you put it on the
It's
list?
probably
You scared me because I was like, oh shit, they done got us
because,
now already.
It's
Why
probably
don't you
because
put
of
it
the
on the
rain
list?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that interferes with the Wi-Fi. Everybody that's watching, look, and I know y'all heard me say it before. And if you've already shared the video, thank you for sharing. If you're watching though, please, 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 please share the video because we're trying to reach as many people as we can. All you see is my right arm.
The
Now
revolution
you'll
will
see.
be televised.
Yeah, no, the revolution gonna be Wi-Fi until they cut it off or figure out how to regulate it. Once you get back, we're gonna go ahead and start this last segment. What in the world just happened to my computer?
Sorry, Facebook Live
I
for my
think that's
cranberry
better.
juice.
I hope that's better.
Cranberry juice. Is that what that is?
It's red. It is cranberry juice. You couldn't tell me no different.
What's cranberry juice?
All right, y'all ready? You guys ready? All right. Uno, dos, tres. Hey, welcome back to this last segment of the It's About Time show. I am still your co-host, Chuck Beard, and got the Queen and the noble Anton Birch himself. We just talked about who killed Dr. King and why, all right? And gave you some resources to go, look things up for yourself because, we don't want to draw any conclusions for you. We want you to draw your own conclusions.
Look at it.
Yeah, please look at it. And, the last thing we want to do is try and sway you into something that, may or may not be true. So you make your own decisions, you make your own conclusions. You are grown. Now, one of Dr. King's more famous quotes was towards the end of his life. Dr. King said, I fear I have integrated my people into a burning house, right? And my question is, was the result of the civil rights movement reduced to cultural assimilation?
You using big words.
Okay, so was the result of the civil rights movement only that we assimilate into the Caucasian society and not maintain our own identity as a people?
Man, it's funny that you bring this up because today I was watching Hollywood Shuffle.
Oh, wow.
Black acting school.
Yes, baddie. But anyway, but that was the whole theme of it, is him being an aspiring actor. If you never watched it, it's one of the. It came out before I'm Going to Get You Sucker.
Yeah, that was Robert.
That was Robert Townsend's
film.
first. You had Keenan Ivory Wayans. You had a lot of your
Chris Rock.
yes, unknown
Damon
comedians.
Wayans.
Damon Wayans, Franklin Ajayi,
David Allen Greer.
Who else? My man, who we talk about? Who was Nicodemus on Dave Chappelle?
Oh,
what's his name? Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
A lot of black comedians that you've seen probably didn't get big, but anyway, that's the central theme. The guy was trying to be an aspiring actor, working at Winky Dinky Dog, but he had landed a role in a stereotypical how a black person is movie. and his grandmother spoke out on it, you know, because he wanted him to be there for the first shooting. And she said, you know, he can find a job somewhere else. He can work at the post office, you know, basically because she was saying he was selling himself out because it was some white folk writing the script and wanted him to play a stereotypical Negro. So it's just funny that you ask, wow. In some sectors, yes. Because as much as we've talked about it, and we both like Corey Holcomb and how he bashes Stephen A. Somebody bashed him for going on Rick O'Reilly. What's his name on MSNBC? Rick O'Reilly?
I don't even know.
Whatever. He was on there. They asked him about something with the election. He went on there, and somebody said, well, instead of going to him, how come you didn't go like Steve Harvey or somebody else black to run your views? I have to pull it up, but it's just funny that we're on this. In some segments, I think some people do. I mean,
was it the motive to integrate everything? Was it the motive to
make us act like them?
Stop circulating, you know, the money within the black community? And
Well, I don't think that was the motive of Dr. King and the civil rights marchers and the civil rights people. I don't think that was their motive at all. And I'm gonna say this, like, because you know, a lot of people say nothing good came out of integration. I disagree. I completely disagree with that statement because I feel like, you know, number one, if we did not have integration, I wouldn't have been able to get the level of education that I have right now. Number two, and that goes for, you know, other people that have gone and gotten graduate degrees or actually gone to college and that kind of thing, right? Number two, you know, I feel like it opened up a whole new level of conversation between the races because now you have to mix with people that don't look like you when you go out, right? So it forced the Caucasians to view black people in a totally different light, right?
Isn't that what our high school, middle school did to us?
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, like, if you were alive in 1971 and they just integrated this lunch counter, you've been taught your whole life, if you were Caucasian, you've been taught your whole life that Negroes are nothing but savages. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to do this. They don't know, I mean, and to some degree, you're still taught that today, or they're still taught that today if you look at the news and all that stuff. But what it showed is, you know, it forces them to be like, oh, well, maybe they're not as bad as we have. It's been projected on us that they are.
He's a pretty decent young man.
Yeah, this is a good guy. And then
Wholesome.
you start opening up the workforce where more jobs are available to African American in the diaspora, where you're forced to interact, or the races are forced to interact. However, because the dominant society has, you know, the larger corporate structure, or it basically has the corporate structure on lockdown, you know, you see that there is intelligence in blackness. Whereas before you were told that there was no intelligence, they're just a bunch of monkeys and coons.
Yes, and you know, and I guess what I try to convey to people is a difference between selling out and being who you are. What I mean by that is, I told people this life is a big game if you want to put it all in perspective. And with what we're talking about right now, it doesn't matter if you grew up in the hood or wherever, and how they perceive us to be, but you gotta be professional in some sort of realm. I mean, not saying that you just gotta all sell out, but when you work with predominantly a lot of whites that have a thinking about you, you gotta, but you can still let them know, you know, where I'm from or where I'm about, but it's not selling yourself out. It's just being true to yourself as, okay, I may have these tendencies and I can be kind of aggressive, but hey, I'm not that type of person. You gotta play the game with them, you know, but not letting them, not being bashful and scared of them, but still letting them know, hey, I'm a motherfucker that came from here, and just because you think that way, just don't get on that side of me. You got to learn to play the game. I'm hoping I'm making that clear for people. But that's all this is, and I promise you, you don't have to show your ass every time. You know, that's what they want. You don't have to show your ass. You know, somebody piss you off, blah, 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 man. Sometimes just turn the other cheek, low. Yo, just chill out.
Right.
You know, if you want something, don't come in demanding it. Just come in there with some professionalism. You're going to get a better result and a reaction from somebody than just coming there showing your ass, because then you're just making the situation worse. I had to diffuse one at work, and it was 2 white people earlier this week. You know, and I'm just like, and I can't stand arguing, man. Just calm down. Look, we can rationalize this. Because people come at me with one attitude, and I'm sitting there, and I guess they think, well, this is a black guy, so I better come. No, look, I'm trying to help you. Mm-hmm. You can get stern, and then that blackness will come out of me, as somebody will say. I'm just saying. It will come out of me, and then they'll just get this way. I don't have to say nothing. I can just put it in a succinct way or give them a look, and then they'll try to calm down. Look, I'm just trying to help you. You ain't got to come in here with all that craziness. But does that mean I'm selling out, or I'm just, lose my blackness? No, I have a job to do. I'm just apply that to all aspects of your life, because that's how it's been portrayed.
I mean,
that's how it's been placed on society. When you act like that, oh, you're hood, they're thugs, blah blah blah. No, I can be thuggish if you want me to be, but I choose not to be. It's a time and a place, but not at work.
Yeah. So okay, we talked about that part. So I'm gonna ask this question. I'm just gonna throw it out there. As a community, as a people, are we better, worse, or the same in a post-integrated society?
That's a complex question.
As far as a community, as far as a black community, we are way worse.
Yes.
Because even before integration, well, they really didn't have a choice but to stick together. Because that's all they had. Mm-hmm. So that's been lost. Black people do not stick together. Just the whole village mentality is gone.
They used to be
and that's what it was before. So it's worse. It's worse. I think hands down it's worse. Mm-hmm. Ain't no question about it.
We sell out our own.
Yep.
Used to didn't. I mean, it's just
there's
so many factors into that.
Your own self.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many factors that go into why it's not like that anymore.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I asked the question in that way. Because Felicia and I went to go see Dr. Claude Anderson, right? And Dr. Claude Anderson said that, what was it, like 10 years after slavery, black people owned 0.5% of the wealth of this country, which basically is like 0.5%.
Right.
It's the wealth that we had. And today in 2017, black people have 1/2 of 1% of the wealth of this country, right?
No progression.
That's with all the black millionaires, the black doctors, the entertainers, the lawyers, the football, basketball players, all of those people that you see. There's still only 1/2 of 1% of the wealth of this country that touches the black community. Other part of that is, and I put a post up on the It's About Time Show Facebook page where it talked about the amount of times that money circulates in different communities, right? And in the black community, money circulates less than one time. Like, basically, if we in the black community get a check, our money is gone in less than 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as a community, everything that we got is gone in less than 4 hours.
That's about right.
Or 99% of what we have is gone in less than 4 hours.
Yeah, because we're going to go up and turn up and buy it. That's what we're going to do. Hey, man,
Yeah, and
it's sad that I know people like that.
Well, I mean, and then you got to think, like, we don't own hardly any property. So you paying rent to somebody else. We don't own the electric companies. So you paying your electric bill to somebody else. We don't own the water companies. We don't own the cable companies. Like the things that we have for creature comforts, we don't produce.
We can even say
Like-
grocery stores.
I heard it was some, I can't think of who it was, but they basically said we're just parasites in the economy. Basically, all we do is just consume. That's it, and that's all that we're taught to do. So,
And it's a fact,
my
whether we like it or not.
my question is, how do we begin to rewrite that, and how do we begin to get past that? And the other thing, go ahead.
I think it's gonna start now. Hopefully, with what's on the horizon with this
You think we
administration.
tired?
I don't think we tired enough.
They ain't
That's all
tired
right.
enough, but I think, and it just may be me that you're gonna get, because I guess I was reading comments and things from the Women's March, and somebody said, we've been sitting. I think it was Madonna with her quote. She said, "We've been sitting back, just allowing and allowing. It takes something like this, and we're finally fucking awake."
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, is this what it's going to take for us? I mean, I'm happy for the women. Yesterday was beautiful across the world and in the States, because I feel like we were saying earlier, they are getting trampled on. But as a black community, when are we gonna wake up?
Well, I think
Will this? I mean, what more is it gonna take for us to wake up?
okay. I watched the Zoe Wood morning show, right? And one of the dudes on the Zoe Wood morning show, his name is Jeff Brown. He's a comedian, right? He said that the only way that we as black people in this country are going to wake up is when the Puffy, the Jay-Z's, the Oprahs, the Tyler Perrys
Yes.
figure out, and are placed on the same level as we are in this room, or the common person that's walking out on the street. Right? As long as somebody thinks that they're better than somebody else,
And that goes back.
there is no change.
They've forgotten where that came from.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not
That's
going to
what I
argue
said
with
last
that.
time. I think there's always gonna be an indifference. Your leg longer than mine. Your shoes look better than mine. Your hair is silkier than mine.
But
Your
see,
hair
they
is curlier than mine.
They done got so far away from eating potted meat and sow's meat and
We can
mama
be all
struggling.
one color,
Struggling. That's a struggling.
and we gonna find something
Yeah, now.
that's that we want, or that's better. I think that's human nature, though. I think that's
I mean,
it's
okay.
human nature. And the only reason why racism is so strong and alive is because it's being fed into. It's being fed into. So when you stop feeding into it, it starts dying.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and not feeding into it is a huge challenge, because, like, if you look at television,
You got the petty people
radio,
of the world. We got
all
a
of
petty
that
president.
stuff.
Very big.
It's not even just that. It's us that perpetuates that stereotype on ourselves too. Because, like, if you look at the music that we listen to, if you look at the entertainers that we value, it's a lot of self-hate that you see in what's going on. And, once we get to the point where we can actually figure out how to love ourselves and that we have value, I feel like it'll be a whole different thing. All right, so I'm going to switch the gears just a little bit, because I was watching the Zoe morning show this week, and Dr. Goulsteen, Mark Goulsteen, said, you cannot change the paradigm living within the paradigm, which was some real deep stuff. Like, you can't change the box if you living in this box.
That's right. You got to step out of it.
And my question is, should we as a community separate? If we should, how do we do that? If we shouldn't, what do we do
That's
to
funny.
build a community?
When Trump first came out and all the hoopla and his craziness, and it kind of made me step back and think, oh Lord, you know, we finna go back in time, and you know, I'm not gonna lie. When Barack got in the office, I was like, well, this is really gonna bring the racists out, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
It really brought them out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they failed to realize was we in a different time, for one, and two, being a racist to me nowadays is more of a coward than it was back, 50 years ago. Because being a racist back then was applauded. Now it's either looked down upon or it is applauded, and I think it's more so looked down upon than applauded. But you still got the people out there that applaud it. This whole thing of kind of, I feel like we going back in time almost. But if you think about it, history has to repeat itself. It has to.
Okay, explain that. What you mean history has to repeat itself?
I mean, this is history. No matter what, repeats itself. I mean, you just have to look at the facts here. Now, what I mean by history repeating itself, I mean, let's go back to something more common. The styles. Think about how the styles were. Even something simple 10 years ago, okay? 10 years ago, we was wearing a certain thing. They coming back out with it. Well, dang. And now we looking sideways at it, but they, you know what I'm saying? So history is going to be constantly repeating itself, and I think that we got to go through this wash cycle to come out in a different point of view of it all. And then I said this last week, we cannot move forward until we change our mindset. We can't do anything until we change and be willing to change. And that just goes back to the comment that you just said. We can't do anything as long as we inside the box.
Well, okay. And this is part of the reason that I asked the question, because us changing means that we have to redefine everything about ourselves.
Right.
Right? And in order to do that, can we do that within the system that we live in now, or do we have to completely separate from that system? And if so, how do we do that? How do we begin to separate, or where do we?
I don't even think we would even know how to separate. We've become so codependent on them, and with the mindset to
Some of us would.
yeah, I think
It's a
some
lot
of us
that
would. It would be hard to do, but I think the mindset of a lot of people whether they realize it or not, they depend on the white community.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, our everyday living,
Mm-hmm.
down to our basic needs,
Mm-hmm.
comes from a white man.
Yeah.
99% of what you use, what you get up, what you wake up to, however you get up to live your life every day and to function properly, comes from white men. So it's gonna have to take us to step outside the box with an open mind, because again, we got to change, and in order for us to change, we got to redirect our thoughts, our mindset, get out of our own way, basically.
Let me say this. I believe that as a community, a lot of what we struggle with is something very similar to PTSD, right? Because if you look at the African American communities, like the hood, it's like, especially in the larger cities, you're always watching your back. You're always looking over your shoulder. You're always, you know what I mean? And then, like, you're told from the time that you're born, or subconsciously told from the time that you're born to the time that you die, that your life has little to no value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it has to be some kind of separation there. I'm not sure how it's going to happen. I don't think the Marcus Garvey idea in this day and time would work, because where would we go? The other part of that.
George just said something.
Well, hold on, let me finish my statement. So I think that it has to be some kind of way that we as a community can figure out how to, number one, start decompressing, and then number two, we start to actually within our community talk about in an honest conversation what really is being said about us and to us, and what's true versus what's not
It's
true.
not true. Yeah.
But go ahead. What did George
No,
say?
George said whites don't believe in racism because they never been oppressed. True. And I said that before. I think it's a religion for them. It's just like trying to tell me that there's no God or there's no Jesus. So with him saying that, that further makes me believe, I agree with Chuck, that we do need some type of separation. Because it's like it's like talk to a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
And when you live in a world or in a bubble where you're not being heard from the other side, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's pretty much where we've been for a very long time. I think when you had the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X and even the John F. Kennedys the other day and the John Lewises and, fighting for us back in the day, I think that there was some progression. But somewhere along the line, maybe it was when King was assassinated or Malcolm X was assassinated, it died somewhere. And our motivation died somewhere. And I think we've been stuck in this bubble for so long. And while we've been stuck in this bubble, we've been trying to function. And we can't really function when we're not being heard. Mm-hmm. And you do so many things. You out there rioting. You out there protesting. You out there writing letters to the government and this, that, and the other. But are you still being heard? Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what we said the last time, being consistent. You have to be consistent with it. But it's almost like when you be consistent with this issue here and still not being heard, you get tired at some point. So I get we tired, but I think in order to reestablish that motivation, that drive, not the drive, but what I'm trying to say, I think it does need to take some separation. We do need some type of separation to get back to the root of it all.
I'm gonna say this because I was actually encouraged over the last 2 weeks because if y'all have never watched the show, I have been working as a part of the Hamilton County Black Caucus, and there's a coalition of different organizations that came together, and we rolled out a platform, right? And the mayor, Andy Burke, here in Chattanooga, if you're not in Chattanooga and watching and listening, actually rolled out his platform to start trying to transform the inner cities, and it sounded just like, I'm not gonna say just like word for word, but it had a lot of what the people's agenda that we rolled out was in it. So I mean, not to say, because we haven't seen any results from it yet, but hopefully, that's the catalyst for change. And it took a concerted effort of everyone coming together, 13 organizations, for them to actually start listening. But there's a comment here by Rio Tilly. I've never seen the name pop up before. Rio, if it's your first time watching, thank you. We appreciate you for watching. It says, do you guys feel like the black community and environmentalism should work together? I feel like both would benefit. While many people reside within both communities at the same time, I find white elitism in my own culture of environmental stewardship. Thoughts?
So the black community and environmentalists, most definitely.
I mean, okay, go ahead. Finish what you want to say.
I think for the educational part of it, the black community has a lot to learn from the other side. That's why I say most definitely, because of the education part that we need to coincide with that side, or be able to coincide with that side.
Okay. My thing is, I feel like there is a lot that could be accomplished, and thank you for your comment, Ria. Because the next step in the, I guess, evolution of this planet is going to be saving the planet, right? Because we see water supplies being diminished. We see all kind of things being diminished. So that takes us to the next step in economics, right? So if, excuse me, please, if we as a community, black people, could align with the environmentalists and the people that are interested in, alternative fuel, alternative, what do you call it, electricity, I couldn't think of the word. If we can align ourselves with those kind of things, then we could be at the cusp when, it becomes necessary for everything to transition from the world as we know it right now, because fossil fuels aren't going to last forever.
The education period, I think, because we've lost that too. If you really want to go back, our roots, our African roots are built off of land. Like, you know what I'm saying? You lived off of land. You lived off of the things that were around you. You depended on the land. You depended on the growth of the land. Even down to the weather, So I think black people in general have lost that mindset and just kind of living in the way of the world. We got to go back to and take care of our land.
But that's gotten so far away that most of them wouldn't know how to live off the land.
Exactly.
I
think them out there right now, we wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Our generation right here are probably the last.
Yeah.
That know how to live off the land, because I know how to start do a garden. If I need to, I know how to gut and kill stuff that I need to eat and survive. But most of these other people wouldn't.
No.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this show because this is almost 30 minutes for this segment.
All right, sir.
And it's gonna be over 30 after we get done. But Queen, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to the boys. Hey boys. Chris.
Brother No Birch. Yeah.
Always a little RGB. And to all the people, keep your head up, stay focused. All my brothers and sisters out there, keep up alive, y'all. Trudge along, Every day above ground is a good day. Everybody have bad days. But just always know someone has it worse than you.
That's very true. I'm going to shout out number one. Where is it? Oh, shoot. I'm going to knock it over. The Urban Voice. If you're in the Chattanooga area, please pick it up. Got to shout out Rio Tilly. She's in St. Louis. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you from St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly. So we thank you for tuning in. Shout out Ace Lawn Care Service, Jimmy and Jamal. Y'all holler at them if you need these yards cut. Barber Kings on MLK. Terrence, gotta go see you, homie. Menlo Park Grocery Store, the homie Sean over in Brainerd. If you're here in Chattanooga, go by. Even if it's $1 or $2, just go support. And then, last but not least, I got to shout out my nephew, Nickalicious. Yeah, my nephew, Nickalicious, Nick Major, just turned 6 today, as a matter of fact.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
I
Happy
have a drink for
birthday.
you.
I love you to death, man, for real. That's the smartest 6-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh.
Man. Man.
I'm waiting for him to write his dissertation next year. For real. It's going to be on dinosaurs, though. But
hey,
it's
you know
a
everything
dissertation
about
nonetheless. I just want to Carmen Davis left a comment. I want to say that before we close out. She said, just so I understand, black folks not into environmentalism? ? One of the panelists for the free screening of Hidden Figures, oh shoot, I can't see it. Hold on. Of Hidden Figures, shoot. It went away. Come back here. One of the panelists for the free screening of Hidden Figures last week is someone who works in finding ways to utilize alternative eco-friendly fuels. Thank you for bringing that out. I had no clue that was going on. And we're not saying that black people are not into environmentalism, just not
as a
in
broad,
mass.
like it used to be.
But now, I'm gonna close out with a quote from Dr. King. Just because of the times that we're in right now, I feel like we all need some type of hope, but we also got to circle the wagons because it's now time for the haves to start looking out for the have-nots because things are starting to get cut, things are starting to change, and we as the haves, if you are quote unquote middle class and not and above the poverty level, and then just in general, Dr. King said the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We're in very challenging, very controversial times. So it's time for us to stand. That note, we out.
We out, people. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, D, you late. We done.
Yeah. CP time.
Man, we've been doing this for what, almost 2
We're
hours
not on
now.
Texas time. We're on Tennessee time.
Yeah, we're in Tennessee, buddy.
We back up here in the backwoods.
Yeah.
Up in the hills.
Thank you to everybody that watched. Thank you everybody that shared. Man, we really appreciate y'all. Look, number one, if y'all could, please just share the video with your people.
Share your video, D. I love you too.
All right. Rio Tilly also said St. Louis here. Chad is a huge example of what to do right when it comes to river politics.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot that's right with Chattanooga, but it's
When
a
it
lot
comes
that's
to
wrong
environmentalists, I agree.
too. Yeah. I mean, TVA stepped in and made sure a lot of
Thank
BS
you, D, for
didn't
sharing
happen.
the video.
Yeah, appreciate you sharing the video, man.
Thank you for sharing.
Everybody that shared, thank you. Can't thank you enough. On that note, you know, holla.